completed. Why the 0.5?
This one we got it.
Good evening, James.
Good evening. This was supposed to be a good morning, but due to technical difficulties, we had to re-record this session.
We sure did.
Yep.
So we originally recorded this on Saturday. We had a full hour-long episode of Double Dads recorded. And then I realized about halfway through that recording that some of the settings I used in OBS, Open Broadcast Studio, meant that his mic cut out because I had the gain set in such a way, or I forget the name of it. Basically, it cuts out your mic if it's not detecting a loud enough noise. So it was supposed to be if you're not talking, it mutes it. So that when I'm talking, anyways. Turns out I had it set wrong because I don't know. We're learning on the fly here at Double Dads Media Empire.
Hey, every time we record, we get one thing better.
Exactly. Anyways.
Like not touching my mic, like I just did.
We talked about this before the show. Anyways, welcome viewers to Double Dads episode 2. We've got some fun topics to get into, some fun stories, some cool tech, some gaming, and we've already talked about it once, so all of our reactions will be genuine.
Yes.
And real.
Yes, this is not planned or scripted.
Totally unscripted.
Just re-recorded.
Yes. Exactly.
For your viewing pleasure.
So, we've got some topics to go through. We're interested in gaming. We like technology.
Yes.
It sounds like a Tinder bio.
Yes.
But we saw a lot of news around the PlayStation Portal. Let's talk about the PlayStation Portal. Let's open it up with that.
Okay. What are your thoughts? First impressions?
For those who haven't seen this, it's a handheld device from Sony that connects to a PlayStation 5. It looks like their controller, the DualSense 5 controller.
And they cut it in half and put a
5.
screen between it.
Yeah. It's literally like separated with a 7-inch screen,
yeah.
I think, in the middle.
8-inch? I think it's an 8-inch.
Is it?
I think so.
I hope so. That's a good size.
Yeah.
I'd rather have a bigger screen than smaller if I was trying to do portable gaming.
Right.
Especially if it's from a PS5, because PS5's whole thing is like big budget 4K 60 on a giant OLED screen. Like they're pushing that like home media, kind of thing. And then they're like, also you can play it on this. And it's like,
right. They said it was a 1080 screen, which it's a step up from the Steam Deck, right?
It is. The Steam Deck, which I love dearly.
Yes.
My Valve Steam Deck is 1200 by 800 resolution, which it is a 7-inch screen. It looks fine on a 7-inch screen, but obviously it could be better. And 1080p is kind of golden for that size.
Right.
The Portal looks cool. It's $200. Since we recorded our first version of this, I looked up some more details on it. It's $200, which isn't too bad. A normal DualSense controller is like $75. So it's not even that much more.
Okay.
And, well, I guess it's like the same as 3 controllers, 3.5.
Here's a question. Can you use it in place of a controller for your PS5 console?
What do you mean in place of a controller?
Like, can you use...
Oh, just screen off
Portal
playing on a TV with the Portal?
Yeah. Just use that as your controller.
That's a really good question. You'd think so?
Not that you would ever want to do that.
That's not really what it's designed for.
Yeah.
But you'd think you'd be able to because it's just a controller with a screen. You'd think that wouldn't be too difficult.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I'm interested to see how it sells and how people use it if it sells.
I think it looks really cool. I think they missed the mark, though. They missed the mark in the sense that they should have made it like the Steam Deck, where it's its own package. It's its own console. Where this one, it runs off your PS5 console.
Right.
It streams through that to the Portal.
Right. If your console is offline, the Portal is completely useless.
Yeah. Which just limits it. And it's like, why would you want to play a handheld unless you're really tired or sick in bed? Then like going to your full powered console and playing on your big screen.
I could see it being something that sells to people like I could see myself using it.
Sure.
If like in this scenario where my wife is watching a movie and I want to play games, but I'm not particularly invested in this movie, if it's like a Hallmark romance, comedy romance, still want to be with her, be close by, but maybe also want to play some Elden Ring and not pay as much attention to the whatever movie it is.
I understand that.
PS5 could be running silently in the corner while her movie plays, and I'm sitting there with full console quality graphics on a handheld, which is very much how I use the Steam Deck.
Yeah.
But I also like that I can take it with me. We go on a trip, I toss it in the bag, and I bring it with me, and I'm playing Elden Ring on the go. Like,
yeah,
you can get a refurbished baseline Steam Deck for $320 from Valve. And it's like, apparently they're good quality from what I've heard. I don't know a ton about them, so take that with a grain of salt. But apparently these refurbished Steam Decks are really, really good. And it's like $130 more than a controller that's doesn't have anything inside of it.
Right.
And then you can play some of these games, not all of them, but so it's trying to compete in a market that's kind of got its own thing going that sells well, like the Steam Deck and the Asus, the ROG Ally.
Yes.
And there's a couple others, like Ion Neo is a company that makes a bunch of these Windows handhelds.
Yeah.
And so there's kind of this space of Windows or Linux, Steam OS handhelds that this doesn't really fit in.
Well, the other thing is they're totally limiting their sales because the only people that can use this are PS5 owners.
It's true.
And PS5 customers. And even in that case, not even a quarter of PS5 customers will buy one of these, probably.
It's true. There's also some limitations, like how you have to have it connected to your PS5 with a USB dongle that you plug in. And you mentioned last time I talked about this, there's no Bluetooth. So you can't pair your existing headphones. You need to have Sony headphones. And I think even it has to be specifically the new buds, the new earbuds or the new headset, because it has that Sony or like PlayStation Link technology. So there's like a bunch of reasons why, even if it was being sold as like a PlayStation 5 portable, it still wouldn't compete as well with something open like the ROG Ally or the Steam Deck, where I can pair. Like I told you that one time, but this past Christmas, I had all of our cousins were over, and we were playing like couch co-op 4-player games on the Steam Deck, and I had the Steam Deck plugged into to a TV with HDMI, and we had an Xbox controller plugged into the Steam Deck connected. We had a PlayStation 5 controller connected. We had a single switch Joy-Con connected, and a keyboard and mouse.
Oh my.
And those were our 4, because that's all we had at the time. I just scraped together whatever controllers my brothers had. We had like every...
Was this a, what's it called? What game? Among Us?
No, it wasn't Among Us.
Okay.
I forgot what it was called. It was a game, the name escapes me. It was a game where like every 30 seconds it changes to a new game.
Oh.
And so you sit down and play, but then every 30 seconds it's a new rules and a new game. And also, if you stop moving, you explode. So it turns into chaos pretty fun. But it's a really fun game, and I love those kind of games. But I love the fact that with the Steam Deck, I could plug in all of those random controllers, and SteamOS had an overlay or like a layout for it, so it worked instantly without me having to map anything.
Yeah,
you don't get that with the PlayStation Portal. So it's got one use for a particular set of people, and from some of the early reviews I saw, there's other people agree with us that it might not sell too well, but I'm curious to see what it does.
What it kind of seems like to me is Sony found out that Steam was creating the Steam Deck and found out that was Asus was creating their thing, and they said, "Quick, we need to create our own version."
Oh
and
crap! They're getting sales.
They found out the hardware specs, and they found out that we'll just make our screen a little better than theirs and maybe a little bit bigger. But they totally seems like they missed the part where it's supposed to be portable.
Yeah.
Truly portable and truly mobile.
Yeah. It is cheaper than all those. I would love to try one, but we'll see. We'll see what happens.
If only you still had your PS5.
If only I still have a PS5. I had one for about a year. I got one like soon after they came out.
Or no?
It's a great console.
Yeah.
I really liked it.
Very strong.
And then I sold it on eBay, not because I'm a scalper, because I needed cash.
But what did you sell it for?
I will get to that. I needed cash to purchase the home we're in right now because I was buying a house. And I'm like, I need extra cash. PS5s are going for pretty good on eBay still. They were not at the peak. Like there was a point in time where you could sell my PS5, the $500 one, the one with the Blu-ray player.
Yeah.
I had the PS5. Those were selling on their own for like $1,500. Like a couple months before I sold mine. I sold mine with 4 controllers and a couple games for I think $800.
That was a whole crap show in itself. That whole console scalping issue.
Well, when I bought mine,
I hadn't seen a Series X in Walmart till like 3 months ago.
Yep.
It was always empty.
Yep. It's crazy.
Yeah.
When I bought mine, I got it from GameStop, and I was on their app, and I saw that I knew they were going to be selling these bundles that included a game. And I knew they were going to come online. They advertised it beforehand, I think. And so I'm sitting there hitting refresh, and the app barely loading. It's so slow because me and like 15,000 other people were both all doing the same thing.
Yeah.
Then I got it. It popped up as like add to cart, and I hit it, and it goes into my cart. I'm like, yes, I'm doing this. I'm getting a PS5. And like the checkout button bugged out, or it was slow because they had so many people trying to check out that it didn't do it. And I was like,
too many people checked out quick enough.
Somehow mine barely like slipped through.
Really?
And when I checked out and went back to the listing, and it was sold out. They were gone in like 30 seconds, maybe. Dude. That was a crazy time. Anyways, I have a Steam Deck now. I very much like it. It's been a lot of fun. I'm interested to see how the Steam Deck is going to run some of these new games coming up.
Yeah.
Starfield's a big one that's coming out soon that I'm really excited about.
And if you can't run it on your Steam Deck, you know what you have to do. Build a PC.
I need to build a gaming PC.
I need to build a PC for this.
It is true.
That's one thing I'm excited about is getting into PC.
Yeah.
Because I will eventually.
So you've been Xbox pretty much your whole life, right?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
And you game on what now? A 1X?
The 1X, yeah.
Okay. So that was
Which is great. Runs great. Very powerful console for how old it is even.
Yeah.
It's not even that old, but...
Well, it's not super new.
I think technically it's more powerful than the Series S.
Yeah, that's right. It's slightly more powerful by like a tiny bit.
But it can't run these next-gen games because they didn't allow the developing for it.
Because you need to buy a new Xbox.
Oh, that's right.
Because Phil Spencer needs your money. I'm going to try and run Starfield on the Steam Deck. I'm not going to try. I'm going to see what other people, I'm sure there'll be reviews, YouTube videos of people trying to run on the Steam Deck. If it runs natively, I'll pick it up and try it out. And maybe we'll get some Starfield content for Double Dads.
Yeah. But, my brother-in-law, Jason, you know him.
Yep.
He bought a new graphics card for Starfield. And he bought the AMD, I don't remember. But it's the one that comes with Starfield. So if you buy this graphics card, you get Starfield as well. And he's like, well, I may as well buy it because for one, it's on sale. And two, I'm saving $100 by getting the graphics card.
True. And getting the game. They've done that for a long time. They've almost always a new graphics card to come out and they'll bundle it with whatever the hot game is at the time. That's been a thing back in the day when I had a gaming PC for a while. And same thing. I think I have a copy of Star Citizen that I never used.
That's a game I want to play.
It looks cool now. 6 years ago, it did not look cool. I was like, why is NVIDIA giving me a Star Citizen code? I'll never use this. So theoretically, somewhere I have a copy of Star Citizen that I'm not using.
Is it like exclusive to certain people, that game?
No.
No?
No, you can just buy it.
How expensive is it?
I have no idea. I know it's a crowdfunded. It's one of the top crowdfunding items in all of history.
It's a very impressive looking game.
It is really cool.
The effects and the ecosystem built into it.
It's supposed to be a simulator, like a space simulator. So not like Starfield is like RPG that's meant to be fun. Like landing your ship, they've said this is going to be like a button press. Whereas in Star Citizen, it's like I need to manually pilot my ship and get it down and like not bump into stuff.
That sounds so much better though.
Which, depending on how it plays, I've never played Star Citizen, but it could be fun. I played Elite Dangerous is pretty fun. That's a game that's on Steam Pass. You should check it out. It's not Steam Pass.
Steam Pass.
Game Pass. Elite Dangerous is on Game Pass, and it's kind of like Star Citizen, but not quite as much going on.
Yeah.
But it's a similar thing. You got to like dock your ship and do stuff. It's really fun.
One thing I'm curious about with Starfield is they say they have like over 1,000 fully formed planets you can go visit.
Yeah.
But there are no land vehicles. So my question
really?
is,
okay,
if it's just a button press landing for your starship, can you go like fly above the surface of a planet instead of using a land vehicle? Can you just fly over the surface? Or like, is it when you get to the planet, you click enter land and you just, that throws you in there. There's no chance of like flying around the planet.
I'm really curious too how they're going to deal with flight and landing.
Yeah.
I am, it would be cool if you could go anywhere, and they've kind of made it sound like that, but there's been, I don't know if you've kept up with this, a lot of leaks on Starfield.
Mm-hmm.
Someone leaked like 45 minutes of gameplay.
Did you watch any?
No, I didn't.
I didn't either.
I
heard about
haven't
it,
even
though.
seen it. It was taken down long before I got there. But I was watching a video about someone discussing what it showed. It sounds like it's going to be more like you land on a planet and the planet is like a open world map for any other game.
Mm-hmm.
Like, so instead of having like, if you never played Skyrim, did you, or Fallout?
I played some Skyrim.
Okay.
I put a few hours into it.
Okay. Well,
Yeah.
So in Skyrim, there's like kind of different zones. There's like the mountains where like Winterhold is, and then there's oh man, it's been a while since I played. But,
Rivendell.
Yeah.
Mordor.
Yeah, exactly. Yes. And then I went through the wardrobe, and Aslan was there. No.
Whoa.
So, but there's kind of different zones. It sounds like Starfield is going to be similar to that, but instead of taking your horse from the mountains down to the valleys, it'll be taking your ship from the red planet to the blue one, you know?
Oh.
And it's, instead of being like, you can run one direction and eventually you'll make it back to your ship. Like, I'm wondering if it's going to be like that, or if it's going to be like, here's the spot of the planet where you can be. There's a outpost here, and there's a mission here, and there's a quest here, and a cave here, and a dinosaur here. And then it's procedurally generated, so those things just get shuffled around for you when you play versus me, and like your outpost is over here instead of over there. Like,
Right.
I'm skeptical that it might be like that, which could be kind of boring. Or it might be everything's like handcrafted.
Well, as long as they make the worlds like unique and fun and like alive.
Yep.
Which they said there's gonna be like 100 planets with living creatures.
Yeah.
Which means that's like 10% of the planets you land
So
on.
900
be
planets
like
are dead.
Habitable. Yeah, like just mineral based.
Yeah. I mean, maybe that's like, I think I'd be okay with Starfield being, I kind of wish it was smaller than they're describing. There's been a lot of hype about 1,000 planets and like all this stuff.
That sounds empty to me when I hear that.
There's no way it can't be, right?
Like barren.
There's no way it can't be barren because 1,000 planets. They had how long have they been working on this? 6 years? Something like that?
I don't know.
6 or 8? I forget the exact number. Since whenever Fallout 4 ended, although they may have started working on Starfield before then, but there's no way that they have had enough time to make 1,000 planets feel like anything worth visiting. And I guess they did come out and say 100 planets actually have life and stuff going on in them. And so I'm afraid that Starfield is going to be like a bunch of nothing that I don't care about. And I'm flying past 75 blank planets to get to the one that has a quest marker on it because I know I need to go there.
Yeah.
Then why have all the other ones? Like, another game that was...
Probably because all the other ones are going to have resources independent from each other, which you're going to need to build your bases and whatever.
I bet it'll be like that, which kind of makes me... It's just... That sounds kind of boring.
Sounds kind of grindy.
I need to buy a new module for my ship that lets me mine asteroids 30% quicker, but I don't have enough plutonium, which I can get from the red planet 17 light years away. And, you know... That's starting to sound like No Man's Sky. I don't know if you ever played No Man's Sky. We talked about this a little bit, but...
Put a couple hours into it.
It's kind of fun, but it's so resource grindy. Like,
very.
You're just always getting resources, and when you want to do something, you need to get this resource, which requires this module, which requires these like core products or whatever. Like, you know,
It feels a little bit like a third person, like Clash of Clans. Like, to upgrade your town hall, you need to upgrade 4 cannons
I see what you
and
mean.
68 walls.
Yeah.
And like build all your other things before you can upgrade your town hall again,
Yeah.
you know.
If you cut out all the mining and resource stuff out of No Man's Sky, you'd have like 8 hours of actual game.
Right?
And instead it takes 45 hours.
Yeah.
I'm afraid Starfield to be like that, but I love Skyrim so much. I am hopeful.
It says they trademarked the name Starfield in 2013. And they finished production on Fallout 4 in 2015, which was 8 years ago.
Okay, so they've been working on this for 8 years, and theoretically they've been working on the concept since 2013.
10 years.
So 2 years after Skyrim came out, they copyrighted or trademarked Starfield. 2013, that was the year that the PS4 and Xbox One came out. So they've been thinking about this for a long time. And then all these years later, it runs at 30 frames on the Xbox.
Yeah.
Oh man, I'm interested. It comes out, early access starts I think tomorrow as of recording this.
If there are major bugs when it launches, I think the game's going to tank. If there aren't major bugs, I think it's going to be huge.
It's one of those things. It'll either be forgotten in a month, or it'll be the thing everyone's talking about for the rest of the year.
Yeah. You know? I hope it does well. It seems like everyone at Bethesda's like super hyped about this.
I love the games that they've made in the past. I'm a fan. I'm hopeful, and I'm rooting for them to have a successful one because it's been a long time since they've had something good.
Yeah.
Fallout 4 was kind of medium.
I'm all about like studios creating passion projects. Unlike Call of Duty, where it's like, pump one out every year so we can make $1 billion every year. Yep. And like, they're not innovating. They're not thinking about us. It's just money, money, money.
Yep. Call of Duty feels like just like corporate greed. It feels like it's like what...
There's no like soul into it. There's no like life. It feels just like product.
It does, especially the last couple.
Yeah.
I liked Modern Warfare 2019 a lot. That felt like a good one. It felt like there was some actual like creative passion behind it.
Modern also, Warfare 2, Cold War. I really loved Cold War. Had really good zombies.
That's true. They're always fun.
But Treyarch makes really good games.
Yeah.
All the Cold Wars.
There's some gems in there. They're always fun for a little bit. Yeah. But here's my Call of Duty hot take for the day. Call of Duty to me, especially the last like 5 years of it, has felt like kind of the way I feel about Marvel movies in some way, especially the latest ones.
Yep.
Where it feels like it's the average of everybody's tastes in the entire world. Like there's nothing particularly unique about it. Modern Warfare 2 didn't stand out very much, but it appealed to everybody.
Yep.
And they're kind of dumbing things down and trying to make it, which is, I mean, it's a business. They're doing good business. It's smart of them from a business perspective to make Modern Warfare 3 the most widely desired thing possible. But in doing that, there's people who are, you know, passionate about what Call of Duty used to be, like a semi-realistic, you know, military shooter game.
Yeah.
And now, you know, you fly in as Homelander and I'm shooting you with a lava gun. And we talked about this in the last episode. It just feels like it's becoming everything.
Yeah.
And nothing.
Right.
All at once. So I'm not very hyped for Modern Warfare 3. There's some cool things they're trying to do.
I think I'm surprised they can pump out a campaign every year. And the campaigns are actually fairly decent.
It's true.
But yeah, the multiplayer it's getting kind of stale.
Yeah. I'm curious to see what happens with Modern Warfare 3. They're trying to shake things up. We should probably move on to some other topics.
Yeah.
Talk about gaming. I love talking about gaming. I could talk about this all day.
Yep.
But I'm curious to see about Modern Warfare 3. They're trying to do like their player choice, kind of open concept missions and open concept zombies. Could be different. We'll see if it's actually that much more unique. But
what would be cool is, I think this needs to happen. Call of Duty needs to take a 3-year break and create something really special.
That is something that Ubisoft is doing that with Assassin's Creed. I don't know if you've seen anything about Assassin's Creed Mirage.
A little bit.
I don't think I've ever played an Assassin's Creed game more than a few hours. I'm not someone they just never really appealed to me. But I've been curious to see what they're doing with this one because people are saying it's a return to form because they took like 3 years off because they were doing an Assassin's Creed game every single year.
Oh yeah,
every year. And then they took some time off, and it looks like it's going to pay off. It looks really good.
Mhm.
The game looks really fun.
Yeah.
Like, it might get me interested, and I've never been into Assassin's Creed.
Yeah.
So that's the kind of thing that if I feel like Call of Duty would benefit so much from that. I totally agree with you on that. I just don't know if they'll take the time.
They
Like,
won't.
They'll lose out
They'll
on
make
so
too
much
much money.
money.
Well, they should take the time for 2 reasons. One, give the developers more time to create a clean, polished game that actually has some soul.
And do it in an 8-hour workday, 40 hours a week.
Yes. And also, yes. And also, the games that you pump out, support it for a few years. Instead of like rotating your players through a new Call of Duty game every single year, people like playing the same game. You know, if they really like it, they want to play that game, you know, and they want to play with it for a while. But especially if they're pouring money into it.
Yeah, well, if you buy 4 battle passes and then suddenly like no one's playing your game anymore, you've got all the cool skins in, like
Warzone
yeah.
1.
Yes, dude. If you've poured thousands of dollars sometimes into these games, hundreds for like probably the average, I would be curious to see what the average is for people spending in Warzone.
Well, especially because it was free, so people spent like more money than they would have if they just bought.
And then Activision goes, yeah, it's going away. We're gonna make a new one and start buying stuff over here. Come on.
If they were nice, they should have just been like, we'll port all your skins into this next Warzone.
Yeah. I can guarantee they had like meetings in the corporate office where they're like, we could take, 4 months of our developers' time to port everything over to the new Warzone, or we could just not and spend that 4 months creating new skins and new guns and new battle passes that we charge people for. And they went, we'll probably lose 10% of our player base because they're upset at us for this, and we'll probably gain about $1 billion. And some guy said, make it so.
And it was so.
Anyways, and then here we are, 2 dads shouting at the internet.
Yes.
Because they're upset about a video game. Anyways. Let's switch topics. We've got some fun kid stories because we have kids. We both have kids. I have one newborn son, and you've got kids of your own. We've each got some funny stories to share. So I'll let you start with yours.
Oh man, which one do I pick here?
there's always so many.
Every day there's something new.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see here. I was reading the Book of Psalms the other night after dinner.
Mm.
KJV, Old English.
Right.
Very these and thous and shalt not.
Yep.
Anyways, Psalms 1, there's a lot of walk in the way, do not sit in the way, follow the way. Anyways, reading through the chapter, and my little daughter turns to me. She's 3. She's like, Daddy, that's what Mando says. And I wasn't really paying attention. I was just reading. I'm like, what? What are you talking about? And then my son, 4 years old, he goes, Dad, this is the way. And I'm like, he's like, Mando says that. I'm like, oh, you're right.
I love that so much. I love that. Mandalorian is biblical. Is Din Djarin Christian? Oh man.
Yes.
Is that his name, right? Din Djarin.
Din Djarin, yeah.
Din Djarin. Oh, that's hilarious. I love that.
Yeah.
This is the way.
So it's fun. Always something new every week, every day. But,
I've got one. This is actually different from when we half recorded this episode. You were here for this one.
Did he burp, fart, and pee at the same time?
No, but he will soon.
Oh.
Actually, yes, he did do that. I have a story about that too.
Did he?
I'll share someday. Yes, there was a triple combo whammy mid diaper change little. Yeah. We'll get to that someday. But we were at a wedding. And a friend of ours, mutual friend, was getting married this past summer. And I was one of the groomsmen.
Oh, yeah. I was there. I was sitting right next to him.
Very close to this.
I was right next to your son.
So I was one of the groomsmen. So I was up on the stage. And during the service, it was kind of like an Orthodox kind of church. I don't really know exactly what the like denomination was, but there was like everyone had like these long robes, and there was like bells that were tolling, and
Yeah.
the service was very quiet for
Very
most of this.
Very quiet, very like echoey,
Yes.
chambery,
Enormous sanctuary
loud.
hall.
hard surfaces everywhere.
Yep. Lots of echoing. I want to make that clear.
Yes.
Echoing. And my son, he was 3 months old at the time, and my wife Hannah, she's holding him. And you could probably tell the story better than me because you actually heard it. I didn't hear it because I was up on the stage. But
Yeah.
he lets out, in the middle of a quiet moment in this echoey hall, lets out the biggest, massive poop
Yes.
I think he's ever done. And it was combined with some farts.
And it lasted like 10 seconds. Just went on forever and did not stop.
10 seconds straight of just his bowels releasing into his diaper.
Yes.
And I'm sure I've heard him do this before outside of this context, because he's good at this because he's a baby. But he usually also goes like,
Yeah.
so he does this.
And then there's a smile at the end.
Yes. Oh, so happy at the end. So he does this in the middle of a very quiet, very like not somber. What's the word I'm looking for? Like very like classy, very kind of regal moment.
Yes.
He lets out the biggest poop of his life. And my wife Anna later says that she felt the pew you guys were sitting in shaking because you were trying so hard to keep your laugh.
Yes. My shoulders were shaking and I was trying not to make any noises. And my wife sitting next to me, she like started to let out a scream and then like had to like cover her mouth and stuff because she was laughing so hard.
I thought that was hilarious. I told him, I'm so proud of you, Liam.
Yes.
For letting everyone know.
I've trained you well.
Yes, exactly. Hilarious. Newborns, man. It's just always something. I'll have more stories to share next week.
Dude, they're the best. Newborns are the best.
It is a lot of fun. I am enjoying having a newborn.
Yeah.
It's my first, so I'm learning a lot through the process, but it's a lot of fun. Being a dad is very rewarding. It's a blessing, totally.
Yeah.
So, let's quick talk about things we can't live without. We can end the show with that. We've been recording for about...
I was actually going to bring something and I forgot.
Oh, that's all right. We can talk about it.
So
talk about it while I grab my item.
Okay. There are these playing cards. You've played on them. They are the brand Theory 11, and they create this whole, well, it's all like pop culture, entertainment, film, playing cards. So I have Star Wars, Mandalorian, Avengers, The Dark Knight, Dune, all in playing card form.
Yep.
And I love it. And they're like the highest quality playing cards I've ever felt.
They're really nice.
Like,
I love playing with those cards.
It's like air hockey on themselves. The way they like
They
float
glide
and stuff.
so smooth.
And they're $13 a pack, so they better be nice. But I just love those. I'm big into cards, so something I'm very into. Maybe we could get sponsored by Theory 11 someday. That would be great.
Theory 11. We're sending you high praise.
Hear us.
Free advertising here on Double Dash.
Yes.
I'm going to talk about my Steam Deck for 5 seconds, which
Yeah.
is actually plugged in underneath this couch because this is where I was gaming.
Ooh. Show me that.
And you know about this, and we've talked about it a lot, but this is one item that I use pretty much every day.
Yeah.
This is my Valve Steam Deck.
You've been using it enough, you could probably do a review on it. Independent review.
I think I might do that. It's a little bit late for a review, but I've got my own spin on it.
This is what you do. This is my thoughts on the Steam Deck 6 months in.
It's been about a year and 3
A year in.
My thoughts on the Steam Deck just after it was relevant.
Yeah.
No, I am
My thoughts on the Steam Deck after the Portal is released.
yeah. Steam Deck versus Portal.
Right?
I am a huge fan of the Steam Deck. It is better than it has any right to be, and it's been able to play more games than I ever expected. I've finished Red Dead Redemption 2. I'm playing through Elden Ring. I've played other games. I played Borderlands. I played Uncharted 4 ran amazingly on there.
Mhm.
And I want to like Red Dead Redemption 2 ran at like medium settings, 40 frames per second, like locked, very solid on there. And
Nice.
it looked amazing. It ran at a higher frame rate, even though it's lower resolution and stuff. It ran at a higher frame rate than when I played it on the PlayStation 5 in backwards compatibility because it was 30 frames on the PS4. So it was actually a smoother experience on the Steam Deck in terms of frame rate. So great piece of hardware. And I'm a huge fan. I'm a huge fan of the Steam Deck. And as soon as they release the Steam Deck 2 or Steam Deck Pro, I'm there. I'm ready. Gabe Newell, take my money.
Yes.
So
I think the one thing I would have liked about the Steam Deck is the brightness just a little bit brighter.
It's fine if you're not outdoors. Like,
Sure.
It's passable. I would love a better screen.
I suppose if you're in bed and like the lights are off, it's like perfect. But
yeah, it's fine most of the time. But I agree that a better screen would be amazing.
But you know me, max brightness,
yeah,
max volume, everything.
This is why your phone and iPad's always dying.
Yeah.
One thing that's really interesting about the Steam Deck is in terms of brightness. Since you're talking about that, it's not super bright. But what's interesting about it is it goes dimmer than any other screen I've ever seen.
Really?
If you turn your phone all the way down at like in a pitch black room, it's probably still pretty bright, right?
Yeah.
The Steam Deck goes like probably half, like another half a setting of brightness down than my phone. If I turn the Steam Deck brightness all the way down in a pitch black room, it's like perfect. Really? And they specifically said they designed the screen to go dimmer than most because they assume people will be using it like in bed or camping, like in pitch black. And so there's settings for it to go very dim and also like a kind of a night mode where it turns kind of reddish almost.
Yeah, easy on the eyes.
Yeah. And that's something that's really, it just shows that they thought about it. They thought about using it. Someone actually sat there in their house using the Steam Deck and went, hey, we should have the brightness go dim, like dimmer than usual because that would be nice. And then they did it because they wanted to create a good product.
Yeah.
So there's little touches like that are all over the Steam Deck. The trackpads are great for using, like playing Age of Empires on there with the trackpads. So nice. It's been an amazing way to play games, portable. At the moment, it's my only gaming device, and I'm very comfortable with that fact. Like, we'll see how Starfield runs, but it's a great device.
We should do a versus Age of Empires.
Let's do it.
I know you destroy me because
I might not. I'm not very good.
Well, I've only played the game like 5 times.
1v1 Age of Empires?
Yes.
Let's do it. Let's get like the smallest map and just, yeah, that'd be really fun actually.
Yeah.
Let's do it.
I think I need to practice first because I don't like.
Okay. Sounds good.
I'm just not fast enough, you know.
Your APMs? Gotta get your APMs up, dude.
Yes, my click rate is not very fast.
You're like a you're like a StarCraft player at the end of this.
Yeah.
Anyways. Yeah. There you go. That's my item. And that's our show.
How long have we been recording?
About 35 minutes.
Nice.
Yeah. A little bit of a shorter one since we're re-recording. We're trying to get this up at the same time as we normally would, which is Thursday mornings. Tune in Thursday mornings on your commute to work or on the weekend.
Thursday morning or Friday?
Thursday mornings.
So tomorrow morning?
Yep. Last one went up Thursday morning. This one might be Friday.
Okay.
That's okay. But
Friday morning is good.
Friday morning, Thursday morning, over the weekend, whenever you catch Double Dads. We hope you enjoy the show.
Oh, also, we are on another platform other than YouTube, correct?
Oh, yeah, we are. We're on Spotify.
Okay.
Come find us. We're on Spotify, Double Dads podcast.
Maybe we could put the link in our description.
Yep. Link will be in the description of the video and also in the channel description. I'll have the Spotify link. We're on Apple Podcasts.
Ooh.
Yep.
Google Podcast.
We are going to be on Google Podcasts now that I've set up Spotify and Apple. I can get the rest on. So
nice.
By the time this goes up, we'll be on Google Podcasts, and pretty much any other podcasting platform.
SoundCloud.
You can think of. Not SoundCloud.
Okay. People only use SoundCloud for like obscure music.
SoundCloud is a topic I'd love to get into someday because I used to be a huge user of SoundCloud.
Some of my favorite music has been found on SoundCloud.
Let's talk about that next time.
New topic.
We're also on Instagram at Double Dad's channel.
Ooh.
And we'll be posting some shorts or some reels up there.
Nice.
We're also on Twitch at Double Dad's channel or Double Dad's Gaming.
Yes, that's a work in progress. Work in progress. The gaming side of this channel.
We are setting up some of these things, but for now, find the weekly podcast on YouTube, Spotify, Apple, Google, wherever you find your podcast at, we'll be there. This has been Double Dads episode 2.
It's been great to be with you. We'll see you next time.
Like, comment, subscribe. If you have an idea for a topic, drop it in the comments. We'd love to hear from you.
We'll try to make sure episode 3 runs smoothly and gets released on time.
No more re-records.
Yes.
All right. See ya.